Hi, welcome to my class. Today I will be talking about how social media and writing go hand in hand. Basically, how social media can help you to strengthen your writing as a student. And so today we will be covering defining your purpose, the different social media platforms, and how they are impactful. Also, I'm going to expound more on the impact as well as give you 10 different tips on how to strengthen your writing. Also, I'm going to give you an assignment at the end of this session. Okay, so let's backtrack. In our last session, we talked about just the basics of writing and just understanding the different core concepts of writing and mapping everything down to the introduction, the body, the conclusion, and then your details and so forth. So with this particular session, I will be touching on the objective of making sure that you all understand the concept of writing through the impact of social media outlets. So we all know that when we're writing, we have a distinct purpose. The purpose may be to inform, to persuade, to analyze, to describe something, even from the term of expository writing. Also, with the different types of writing, as I stated before, you have descriptive, analytical, persuasive, as well as critical. So, with our writings, it is very important to understand your purpose. Without a purpose, pretty much you just don't have a meaning to anything that you will write. And so, when we're putting out those different particular writings, we want to make sure that we define our purpose carefully and with the intent that we set forth with that purpose. So, within your purpose, we kind of look at those different ideals, and you're probably wondering, well, how does social media go hand in hand with my purpose? And I will tell you, with the four types I've listed, surprisingly, they do go hand in hand with the four different purposes that we will discuss. For instance, a narrative. I know that's one of the different writings that we usually learn when we're stepping into an English course. And so, with a narrative, the first thing that comes to my mind is a short story, a personal narrative of an event in your life, memoirs, novels. You may think of some of your favorite novels from childhood, preteen, young adult. Those are the things that come into play when you're dealing with a narrative. You're narrating a story, basically. You're telling a story. And so with storytelling, sometimes it can kind of vary between Facebook or Instagram. Now with Facebook, Facebook has been around, I think, probably since 2005. And I know with that particular platform, it's expanded even more on the business side as well. But when it comes to writing as a student or from the professional standpoint, Facebook is a great platform that can help you to tell even more stories. In my own professional background, I've seen a lot of people share different articles and different things of that nature. They even had like a section at a time called notes where you can do journal entries on there. So that's another way to do a narrative from that platform. Now, and with Instagram, you can tell a story, but it's in a different form, pictures. And it's self-explanatory. You share a picture and then you kind of share the little a bio of what that picture may be or within a caption. And so from there, it's more of like a descriptive way of telling a story. You know, you have your pictures and then you have your words, and the two go hand in hand to create a story. And they even have what you call Instagram stories now, as well as Facebook stories. The next platform is Twitter. Now, Twitter is a little different platform because initially you will start with them allowing you only to create a post with 140 characters. And so with Twitter, the beauty of that is you have to be very concise with your words. It's all about brevity and clarity. And for those who don't know what brevity means, it means exactly what I just stated, being very concise, very straight to the point, not using jargon that you normally wouldn't use in any other realm of writing. And so when I think of Twitter, I think of expository writing. And we all know with expository writing, you're basically informing somebody something or explaining something, providing facts, providing information. And so examples of expository writing would be your news reports, manuals, anything where you are providing information for someone that's requesting it or someone who is doing research. And so that's when you have expository. And so Twitter would kind of be a great way to do like a little mini blurb of what facts you've come across and other things you may find on the internet. And so with the fourth platform, and this is one that I know too well, is blogging. Blogging has really taken off in the last decade, where it's just simply a way of getting more information out there. And I know with blogs, initially it came across as being like an online journal for those who wanted to share their thoughts about different events, different things that they may have an opinion about. And so with blogs, I equate that platform with the writing with persuasive writing, where you are trying to convince someone of a subject. You're trying to convince someone of an idea that you have or a belief or just basically expressing an opinion about something that you feel strongly about. And we all know that in today's age, everything is on social media. And so with the persuasive writing, blogging is a really great tool to use. I can truly say that blogging has helped me in so many different areas, both professionally and personally. And so I would encourage you all as students, if you ever want to learn about blogging, there are different articles on the internet. You can start by looking at blogs that fit into your interest. I know before I even created my own blog, I was so engrossed in looking at other people's blogs, especially blogs that cater to my different interests. So now that we've gone through making sure you define your purpose, we've also gone through the social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and blogs. Let's get into the impact of social media in your writing. So basically, when it comes to social media platforms, as I stated before, it's basically, when it comes to writing, it's just a combination of being creative and also being expressive, whether it's a personal expression or a professional expression, to strengthen your writing. And so as I said before, I know blogs is a wonderful form of communication. It's actually become one of the most primary forms of communication on the internet. Everywhere I look, there's different blogs, whether it's food blogs, travel blogs, law blogs. We have inspirational. I know my blog I have is a personal blog, but it's been more of an inspirational blog for myself as well as for others, and also on the professional side, providing information to other writers. And so those are different ways that you can utilize blogging to be creative in the social media realm. Also, as I was saying before, Twitter, the impact of Twitter has truly helped students to become more in tune with being very disciplined in their writing and making sure that whatever is being requested in the writing, it's done. Twitter, like I said, is very on point with being concise and also that clarity, making sure that every character that's laid out, every word that's written on a piece of paper, your reader or your audience is going to make sure, okay, what exactly are they saying? Or, everything that you write answers those questions. Moving along, and so with Instagram, like I was saying before, those different captions that you put underneath a picture, captions make a big difference. It's another way of telling a story. We also have the hashtags. Hashtags is very popular now, along with the caption. But definitely with the Instagram platform, the captions, it allows students to write brief descriptions, outlines, or stories to the visuals that you share. So if you feel hesitant about writing a paper, just think of an Instagram post. Pretend that, whatever subject you're writing on, that you're sharing a picture and then you're being descriptive about what that picture looks like. So as far as the impact of social media, basically goes through the fact that it allows you to strengthen your writing through consistency. Consistency is very key to great writing. Making sure that you have a set time to write and that you stick to writing, whether it's blogging, whether you're doing social media posts for other people, but definitely for your writing as a student, making sure you set aside time weekly or daily to get your words and your thoughts out. And most definitely with an outline. Make sure you have an outline before anything. Next, social media can help a student strengthen their feedback. Feedback is very important, especially, like I said, with social media, everybody wants commentary on everything that they put out. And so with feedback, it provides peer feedback as well as accountability. Now with peer feedback, it's good to share your writings with other people within your class or within another study group to kind of get another set of eyes or another set of ears to kind of hear your story, and just give you positive feedback or constructive criticism. And it's very important that whatever feedback you get from the other person or groups, that you take into consideration that it's only there to help you and not to hinder you. Also, like I said, accountability. There's nothing like having somebody to hold you accountable for the assignments that you have and for those different writings that you have, which may lead to better things in the future. And so, yes, definitely feedback is a good impact from social media. Third, we have confidence. I know it can be hard sharing your writing with anybody, especially, if it's your professor or your instructor that's requesting you to put together a paper in a short amount of time, and you kind of feel frazzled and you're like, oh, I don't understand how to do this assignment. And so with writing and with social media, if you're on social media and you're confident about writing a post about how your day feels and you don't feel like, I'm okay with sharing that, oh, it's sunny day, I feel happy, I feel relaxed. And so you have that same mindset when you're writing a paper. And if you feel confident enough, you'll share that paper with somebody to get their feedback. And also just with the confidence, if you just happen to write a blog one day or you write a news article, you have to build that confidence up enough to know, hey, I can share this and know that it's going to go to this outlet, that outlet, this group of people are going to reach it. They're going to read it. It's going to reach them, and so forth. And the fourth way that social media impacts a student's writing is through collaboration. I know a lot of times we like to do things by ourselves. We don't like to be extroverted and work with other people, but collaboration is a great way to strengthen your writing. And so with collaboration, you're basically just developing stronger ideas with other people. When you collaborate, it's not just one person, it's 2 people or 3 people or 4 people or 10 people coming together and dialoguing and sharing their thoughts and coming together to help each other. And also through collaboration, you're finding convincing evidence. If you're doing research, you want to make sure when you're collaborating with people that when you guys come together, that the research that you have, when you put it together on paper, it makes sense, and that whoever's reading it, they'll understand, oh, okay, it's not just something thrown together. It's something that's thought out. And also with collaboration, you're being more creative in your composition. It's very easy to say, oh, I do this on my own, and this is what happened, and, I didn't need any help. But when you come together and collaborate with your peers or with another group that you have similar interest in, it helps to get those creative juices flowing. And so when you compose your writings, it doesn't feel like it's far left. And we're coming to the last part, tips. I have 10 tips on how social media has reinvented writing and different tips for you all as students. So, number one, social media helps you to connect with an audience. As I stated before, it's very important to have a purpose behind your writings. And so, when you're writing for the first time, think about your audience. Think about who's going to read it, who's going to digest all the information that you are giving. Number two, social media helps you to find your voice. Everybody wants to feel like whatever they're writing has a meaning and a purpose. And so it's very important that when you're writing, you understand your audience and you also find out what your voice is and what you stand for. Whether it's inspirational, like I said, informational, you're critiquing something, you're giving a review about something, you're analyzing something, descriptive, anything. Number three, social media helps you to write more efficiently. And so that kind of goes hand in hand with the consistency. Not only should you be consistent, you should also be efficient. And basically, efficient is just making sure that what you're writing, it makes sense to whoever's reading it, and that it comes out the way you want it to come out, and that it's making sense. Number four, it helps you to write more authoritatively. Now, when we think of authoritatively, the word authority pops out. And so it's very important that when you're writing something, that you make sure you're not just putting words together just to have a paper. Make sure that when you have evidence or you're citing from different sources, that you are making note of those sites within that paper, and you're making note of anything that you've used in that paper, and make sure that you're speaking with authority, meaning you're coming from a place of you're owning that writing. Number five, writing through social media helps students to interact with experts and peers. Experts can be people you find through blogs, journals online, different forums that you may pop into every now and again, through social media interaction. Also with peers, they could be your friends, your family members, social media buddies. I know a lot of us are connected in some way to people who share our interests on social media, as opposed to people we've met from college or high school or just family members. And so it really helps you to have a sense of, oh, okay, I have resources. I'm an expert in this area. So if I go here and I see a post, I can express my opinion on something because I know what I'm talking about. Number six, writing helps you to get a faster feedback. And so we go back to the topic of feedback. When you're writing on social media, 9 times out of 10, you're going to get a faster response to your post as opposed to a regular paper, because it's instant gratification. For some people, when they post something, they want a response. And so, in a sense, it's kind of like with your writing, if you're wanting a quick response from your professor, then why not just write and just get it out there? Number 7, with social media and writing, there have been a lot of tools out there. There's one particular tool that a lot of people are using. It's like these different grammar guide apps, and I know my favorite is Grammarly, which is an editing tool that I use from time to time to edit different papers. And so the beauty of social media is that there are so many apps out here. If you're not into looking over your paper line by line and word by word, then you can always shoot your paper through an app or whatever system you have on your computer, and it'll allow you to edit from those different apps. Another great app is Pro Writing Aid. So moving on to the next point, number 8, writing through social media improves your feedback. It's feedback. That's the one thing that I've been seeing a lot. Feedback. And so when you're writing through social media, it's exactly what it says. It's like it's improving your feedback. And so not only are you getting faster feedback, but it'll help you to improve feedback for your own papers and for other people. Number 9, Writing through social media helps you to research collaboratively. Once again, when you're in groups, it's a good way to collaborate and research together. Why not put two brains together to get the information that you need? And so when you're on social media, it's easy. You can go on probably like Facebook or any other social media outlet that has information, even just different websites, and it'll show you the information that you need for a project. So it's very easy to just research and collaborate and get the information that you need. And the final tip is writing through social media helps you to write collaboratively. So once you have that research, now it's time to kind of buckle down and get those facts together, opinions maybe, and write it down and collaborate even more with your partners or with people in other groups and other settings. And so that concludes my presentation of social media and writing. Thank you so much for tuning into this session. Before I leave, I want to give you all an assignment for next session. And that assignment would be to create your own blog. That'll be a starting point for a lot of you all to get your writing out there, to create a blog where you feel comfortable writing about your experiences throughout the class and just the different things that you're learning. And so once again, I thank you for taking the time out to check out this session, and I look forward to reading your blogs. Thank you. God bless.